Hello again, YouTube. I'm back with another VOD review. I'm a Tristana OTP on the NA server. The game we're going to be looking at today is this one that I have highlighted here. I'm currently still sitting in Emerald 3, so this is an Emerald 3 lobby. I played a pretty good game this game, and we managed to win in spite of some uh, not so great teammates, especially our mid laner, as we'll get into. But we managed to overcome the obstacles and pull out a carry. So let's see how how I managed to carry this game and if there's anything I could have improved on in this one. Alright, so looking at the champions, we've got Tristana Veigar versus Sivir Maokai. Now, both Sivir and Maokai kind of counter my support. The Veigar cage can be dodged by the Sivir E as well as the Maokai W, I think, because he goes intargetable when he charges at you. Forgive me if that's the wrong ability. I don't know the exact order of the abilities on Maokai. But so I do feel like we kind of get countered. We don't have great CC here. Um, but Vigar should scale okay, and I do think that I outscale the Sivir probably. Sivir is a very, I feel, theoretical champion. Her range, I feel, is just way too short to be practical. I think she's just always going to get blown up, regardless of the spell shield, because there's just so many spells that can hit her and kill her. Especially with an Orianna, it's highly likely that the ball will just crack the shield. So in any case, I'm not too unhappy about just farming in this matchup and taking good 2v1 trades where we can. But other than that, not trying to do anything too crazy. It's a Nunu jungle versus a Riven jungle. So I don't see Riven jungle too often. I'm not really sure if it's a thing, but in any case, Riven is a pretty scary champion when she's played top. She won't have as much gold probably, but she can still like flash stun you. It's still pretty scary. But I do think that that being said, Nunu is a much more scary ganker than Riven, so he may be able to turn this matchup um, into a favorable one. Meanwhile, Orianna versus Zed in mid lane, you know, in this game we're gonna see I'm complaining a lot about the fact that we have a mage versus assassin in the mid lane. I'm sure in low elo you guys know what I'm talking about. The Fed Zed versus Orianna. Zed is 10 and 0 and your Orianna is like 0-10 because, in order to get an advantage in those mage versus assassin matchups, you need to kind of have perfect spacing and be like an LCS mid laner in order to not get killed at level 3 or level 2 or whatever. Because I played a lot of mid Tristana actually, and I know how these assassin matchups can go sometimes. And I mean, against a Zed, it's hard not to like repeatedly die under your tower. So maybe it wasn't completely warranted the flame that I was giving this Orianna, but and then we have Cassante and Trundle. Um, Trundle kind of wants to split push. Cassante kind of wants to team fight and crowd control everybody. So let's just see how this goes. Sorry about that noise. Not much at level 1, just ward the mid bush. So Vygar's going to get gone on at level 1. Pretty even trade of health. Maybe we're a little bit on top in that trade. It's in general not a good idea for Maokai to engage on the support. In general, in almost any trade, as a rule of thumb, you want to go for the ADC over the support. So it's a bit of a mistake for Maokai to go on him. But here he goes on me because they got the level 2 advantage. But because we're under our tower, Maokai cannot keep chasing, which is why this trade. And also, Sivir's not exactly a monster at level 2. So that's why this trade turned out okay for us. Still not the super happy scenario for me because I've already used my potion. I'm at half health. A little bit more than half health. So this is kind of just how we want the matchup. We want the wave on our side so we can safely farm. New spot. So maybe we can make something happen with that. But if he doesn't come, he doesn't come. Not CSing super well under tower. Vygar lands a very nice cage, a double stun. So I do think we're going to get a kill out of this. Which we do. Vygar takes the kill. I flash for this kill. Okay, so one of the great strengths of Nunu is those level 2, level 3 ganks, and the Vygar double stun really set it up very well. So I didn't really do much there, just followed up on my on the Vygar cage. Mid is not going very well already. Zed is 2-0, which is a very bad sign for Orianna. At level 6, Zed may or may not be able to already tower dive her, even though she does have the exhaust. Now this trade I do want to talk about. So I came into the lane at full health and now I'm back down to like 600. Let's see what happened here. So I thought that with me and Vygar here together and no Maokai, we have the river pretty well warded, so I don't think that he's here yet. I think it's a good opportunity to jump on her. But first of all, Vygar's a little bit too far back because I just want to make it a quick trade. Maokai will be back to the lane soon. Um, so Vygar's not really close enough to follow up on this quickly. And also, as you can see, there's a ton of minions coming in, including a cannon. I'm going to be taking all that damage. And on top of that, Sivir can use her spell shield to block my entire bomb damage. So, I missed the auto. Yeah, so she blocks the bomb damage, and then I'm taking so much damage from these minions, as you can see. I just want to re-emphasize that one more time. So by the time Sivir's done hitting me, I'm 667 HP. And then by the time the minions are done hitting me, I'm 511 HP. So just let that sink in for a second. It's as if I took like 3 additional autos from Sivir. So, not a good decision. And the dragon is up. So, not a good time to take that trade. Especially our jungler's not even, our jungler's topside. So he's not going to be able to take advantage of the trading at all. Even if it was a good trade. And that Sivir W will slowly whittle you down. I'm back down to 550 health. I'm feeling like I want to recall because of that bad trade. But the dragon is up, so it's a little... To be honest, I mean, it's not like I could have fought the dragon anyway. So that's probably why I decided to recall. Just to get my health back up. It will be at the cost of probably the melee minions and potentially even the cannon. To be honest, Vigard W'd this cannon, but uh, I think it might have made it back to me if he didn't W it. So I wasn't expecting to lose the cannon. I'm pinging in the river. I know there's people in the river right now looking to do the drag. I just pop myself a ward so that we don't get flanked or towered over or anything crazy. I'm mostly okay with uh, giving them the drag if necessary because Oriana's behind. It's not like we're in a great position to fight. We're not particularly strong. I have a call. Vargar gets a nice cage here. Nunu has a nice follow-up. Get some damage on the Sivir on the back end. That may result in us taking the dragon, I'm not sure. But I still don't think it's good enough with a Fed Zed. So Nunu dies, but a nice Vargar cage kills Raven off the back end, and then Sivir's gonna die too. Okay, so overall getting some pretty positive outcomes in these fights. The Veigar CC and the Nunu CC really combine to, it's very powerful CC is what I'm saying. Now here, I tried, as soon as I'm done killing Sivir, it's instructive moment, I immediately look at the map. Riven is dead, I don't need to worry about the jungler, but Maokai could be coming back, and also Zed is off the map. And look at Oriana, she's sitting under her tower. It looks like Zed just pushed in a wave and he's coming bot to come kill us, to come clean us up. So my eyes are glued to the map right now as we're running back, seeing if we can spot the Zed. And there he is, for a brief split second on the map. I start pinging Veigar, please get away. But I guess he didn't see it or he's not concerned, he thinks he can get out. I'm not sure. I was very upset at the Veigar for not listening here. Both Maokai and Zed showed up. But I was pretty happy with myself for anticipating this and not getting too tunnel visioned on crashing that wave in. So at least I survived this. Don't feed any money. But that was pretty upsetting. And as you can see, I typed to the Veigar. I was quite upset because I could have saved both of our lives if he had listened. But it goes without saying that typing is unproductive. Don't do it. I should take my own advice. The dragon still hasn't been taken, which is unusual. I feel the enemies are really dropping the ball by not doing that dragon. I think they're so much stronger now with their Zed that we cannot hope to contest. Although I do think that Nunu is relatively strong too, so maybe they're afraid of the Nunu, but I wouldn't be with the Zed that fed. I don't really like how Veigar is playing here that much because it's not like we're gonna fight them um, without our jungler ready to gank. Zed and Riven went on the Oriana in mid lane, but they could have very well been them going on us instead if we had pushed up too far in the lane. So I'm just trying to chill, stay on our side of the river. Nunu's coming, but I don't think Veigar can reach them with the cage. It's fine. I'm still very happy right now because the dragon still hasn't been taken, giving us more time to scale up and farm. Nina's looking at the drag, but it's warded. The scuttle ward is in the river. Honestly, not much to do right now. It's just kind of a lull state. Like I said, I'm playing the matchup out like I plan to, just farming. Trying not to get baited by my support, running into the river with no vision, autoing where I can. But I don't want to hard commit to this fight. I probably could have killed the Sivir, but look at Zed, he's in the river. If you didn't see that, by the way. The reason I'm not hard committing and Vagar's probably mad at me is because I'm afraid of Zed. And look at where he is. He's right there. Again. So I'm having pretty good self-discipline. One of the most difficult aspects of solo queue as an ADC is your support. Well, for myself, I'm not really talking about in general terms, but for myself, I'm very good at looking at the map and knowing when, or having an intuitive sense of when I'm going to get ganked, um, or knowing when I could get ganked. And my support, on the other hand, does not really have that same intuition usually. They're usually auto-filled. So maybe they're just focused on pressing their buttons or whatever. But what that means is a lot of the time your support is going to want to go in and you're going to know that there's people waiting for you to go in. The jungler, the mid laner, the top laner sometimes. And you have to choose between fighting with them and most likely dying or staying back and letting your support die. Now, if you let your support die, then they're probably going to flame you if you do it more than once, which I've already done twice this game. I've left him behind to die because I knew that Zed was in the river. Thankfully, he's not getting too mad at me for it, but some supports will start taking your CS, they'll start complaining and giving up. But at the end of the day, the correct decision is just to not die. If you have a feeling like you're gonna die, just don't die. Now here, I knew this was a bad idea. I chased her a little bit too far, and what he knows, I was in the river. And I started getting mad at my Orianna here, but another worthless mid laner. To be honest, when I say stuff like this, I don't really mean it. It's just a way of like cope bantering with myself, with my team. I think mostly they'll end up taking it too seriously, but I mean, I guess it's my way of entertaining myself in a game that's kind of cursed. But you shouldn't do it. Don't be me. So yeah, I mean, I'm blaming the Orianna there, but to be honest, I knew that I couldn't chase the Riven that far. I knew that Zed would be coming. So that is my fault. That death is my fault. I can't really stay in lane without my support here, but there's also not much to recall for. So I guess I got bored and started spam pinging my mid laner here, because she's now 0-4. Again, don't try this at home. The main reason I'm Z is 6 and 1. Okay. The main reason I'm so tilted by this is that if it were not for the Z being fed, this would be probably a very straightforward game to carry. But because he's so fed, if he plays it correctly, if he gets a flank angle and fights, I'm either forced to like commit to the fight and then get flanked by Zed and die, or spend too long waiting for Zed to show on the flank and my team lose the fight. Although it's not like my team is so far behind. If the Zed is spending the entire fight waiting for me to show, one could argue that my team might be able to fight them 4v4 without the Zed. But it is just quite frustrating that playing against Fed Assassins is a ADC. The reason I'm paying it so much is there's really just nothing to do. I can't walk past my turret if Zed is not showing on the map. But again, not to beat a dead horse, but that is not the that is not what you should be doing in your games. I even start a surrender vote here. I do see this game honestly as pretty unwinnable at this point. Like, I'm not expecting to win this game. I'm not even expecting it's possible to win this game. Because, like I said, if Zed plays it right, I feel like there's really not much counterplay. I see it as Zed kind of flanks us. We have a Vigar support. He's not exactly going to peel the Zed. I mean, we do have a couple exhausts, but other than that, there's really no peel for the Zed. So I do see this game as pretty hopeless. I did not realize how much I pinged her. I feel a little bit bad now. Oh, here, I think I knew something was up. So, Zed, Maokai clearing vision in the river. Zed is missing, Maokai's missing. Sivir's now missing. I just feel like I'm gonna get four-manned right here. I just have a feeling. Because everyone is missing. And that's why I'm walking away from my turret. Nunu's gonna face check this for me. And yep, he's gonna get four-manned. Three-manned. Um, not much we can do there without like a Farsight. I probably should have a Farsight ward already. Would have been able to check that. But the only other way to check the bush is to face check it. Thank you, Nunu, for preventing my death. Zed is showing, so we can kind of chase the Sivir a little. Recalling, my call has been completed, have a bunch of gold. Uh, they want to contest the dragon, I'm not sure if we can stop it. Looks like we can. Nunu kind of held them off by himself. Now here, I'm not intending to fight. I'm sitting on 2,500 gold. So we kind of just sacrificed the Orianna. I ping her a little bit more. Although, it's not exactly her fault, that death. She was just there to help secure the drag. And ultimately be sacrificed. Now, I really can't walk up with with Zed here. I'm scared of him hopping to his W and Ring me. So notice how it's kind of spacing him. This was a play I was pretty proud of. Missed another auto, but I do get the kill. Let's back up a little. So this is a common situation against Zed. You want to defend, you want to clear your wave, and in order to clear the wave, you need to walk up, right? But what you have to anticipate from Zed is that he's gonna basically WR you, right? So he's got the W shadow out. If I walk up too close, he can just WR me, and there's nothing I can do. So I need to stay out of range of the R, assuming that he hops to his W. So I gotta stay out of, um, I gotta stay a certain range away from his from his clone shadow in order to not get R'd, if that makes sense. And that prevents me from dying here. And he's looking, he's waiting for me to walk in range, but I'm kind of just tethering at the end of that range, which allows Nunu the time to come in and get an unexpected snowball on Zed. See, he's not able to R me, so he kind of panics. I guess he doesn't have R because he still could have R'd me, but it's not as dangerous if his W is down. His W finally came back up there. And the 1,000 gold shutdown is pretty huge. So at this point, I think I start focusing on the game again because I got a very huge shutdown. Um, I'm trying to go on the Sivir, but I don't think it's going to work out. She's just going to ult away. Got my Infinity Edge. Team gets a nice pick on the Cassante. No. I'm always kind of scared to walk up to the mid wave whenever there's an assassin and there's no vision. We have some vision on the bot side river. So if I have her on the bot side river, I should be relatively safe from the Zed. But it's always a little bit scary to farm the mid wave by yourself. So sometimes it's worth waiting a couple seconds just to see if anybody else shows on the mid wave. So you have an idea of who might be in the area. Especially with no towers to retreat to. You can get kind of flanked from behind. Our jungle is relatively well warded though. So nothing to be too concerned about. Looks like there might be a fight over Otacon. Zed is top. So I see this fight as very winnable without the Zed here. I can kind of do whatever I want. As long as I don't get CC'd by Cassante. So this is a very easy fight to win without the Zed here. That's a free Otacon. I get 2 shutdowns there too, so I'm actually getting quite fed. I was already quite fed, but now this is kind of into like 1v9 carry territory. I'm still very afraid of Zed. No matter how fed I am, he can still one-shot me. One item that you can always think about building against Zed is Zhonya's. And I do actually end up building Zhonya's later in this game, but I do find that you need at least 3 items before, otherwise you just don't do enough damage. I haven't really tried too much building Zhonya's before finishing Navori. It might be a viable strategy because, you know what they say, uh, 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 a dead carry does no damage. But it just feels bad. It slows down your farming speed. It prevents your ability from killing tanks like the Cassante. I also really like to build Last Whisper before I think about Zhonya's too, if I can. but I haven't experimented too much with the build order whenever I want to go Zonias. I mean, it's possible that you can just build it after IE, or at least get a Seekers, you know. I haven't tried too much, but uh, my current philosophy is that I'm not building Zonias before 3 items for sure, and probably until after Last Whisper as well. It doesn't give you any AD. It's kind of a cheese for like a late game team fight. But okay, so this fight was my positioning. I think was pretty bad. I was pretty indecisive on where I wanted to be positioning here. Now, I wanted to go. I thought our team was going through the tri bush, which is why I approached from a different angle. I didn't want to get ulted by Zed basically. Although I don't really think that this positioning stops me from getting ulted by Zed. If anything, it makes it easier for him to ult me. So I should have just been stacking on my team, to be honest with you. Yeah. And because the main issue with this positioning is number one, I mean, Zed could have got me here if he wanted to, if they had vision. Number two, I'm just totally cut off from my team. I'm I was thinking about helping Trundle, but I mean, maybe I could have, but it looks like he's just getting one shot. So yeah, let me break this down in a little bit more detail. So given the situation that this is where I am, Trundle's getting gone on here. I see the Zed. He hasn't ulted yet. He goes back into the bush. I assume that he's sitting there waiting for me to show so that he can ult me. So I can't really just walk up and auto this Cassante. I feel like I'm just going to get Zed ulted. So I'm kind of just sitting here doing nothing, waiting to see if he's going to show. He doesn't show. Finally he shows and I decide, okay, maybe I can come up now that he's ulting the Trundle, but it's too late. I can't really 2v1 that. Maybe I can. They've used all their cooldowns. It's possible to outplay them 2v1, but I mean, what's the point? The dragon's already gone, right? It's too late. So I was very indecisive here. I thought Zed might show up immediately, go on this Trundle, and then that would give me time to fight with him, but he didn't. So it was a combination of bad positioning, bad luck. Really, what I should have done was, I mean, the first correct decision I should have done was just stack on my team. Once I realized that I was going to get cut off, I should have immediately jumped over. I don't like wasting my jump like that because it's very crucial repositioning tool, but there's probably not much choice here. So yeah, I should have just jumped over the wall and assuming that Trundle can keep these two guys busy, it's going to be a 4v3 for us on the dragon. So, so yeah, just bad positioning by me. And now my whole team's dying. However, they kind of start chasing us here. And I do manage to get something out of this. Now I did kind of ult the Zed too early. I had to waste my flash for this play. So Zed does flash here, so I know he doesn't have flash. I probably can just keep autoing him instead of ulting him away. He was only one more auto. So if I had just autoed him one more time instead of ulting him, I wouldn't have had to waste my flash. But yeah, I was able to get a nice cleanup with the W resets. I'm actually very unhappy with myself for flashing there. Um, I mean, I did get nice shutdowns. I think it was still worth it to flash, but Um, I just wish I had it because Baron is up. I would rather use my flash in a Baron fight than in a random cleanup fight after a dragon with no objective up. That, using the flash didn't enable a Baron play or anything like that. Riven gets caught out here. I was kind of scared of the Zed. Just going back to this play one more time. I didn't know what he had used besides flash. So he uses, I think, W to get over the wall. I'm not really keeping track of what abilities he's used is the problem, I think. If I knew that he had used W, yeah, he definitely used W. All he has left is R, but he's already used R on the Trundle, so it shouldn't be back up yet. So in that situation, Zed had nothing, and I should have known that Zed had nothing by the way that he was reacting. He wasn't using anything on me. He would have been walking toward me if he had R. I mean, he kind of was walking toward me. I just didn't know what he had. A lot of time I just panic R. Um, but I should have calculated. He used the R on Trundle. He used the W to get over the wall. And if I had thought about that, then I wouldn't have flashed. Anyway, fast forwarding, we kill the Riven. It's not really enough to take the Baron though, with everybody else still alive. Just do some farming. At this point, I have my LDR, so it's time to build Zonias very soon. We would like to stop them from getting Baron, but to be honest, I don't think they can end with a Baron. All of our inner towers are still standing. It's going to take them some time to break those down. I don't think they're going to get more than an inhibitor off a Baron, so I'm what I'm saying is that I don't want to throw the game trying to contest a Baron with bad vision. Just want to okay, I'm doing a ton of damage with that LDR. I'm super fed. I can definitely 1v9. I know Zed is in this bush because I'm just look at the minimap right now. He keeps going in and out of that bush. Zed is really the only thing I'm scared of in these fights. So I might be autoing this Maokai, but 100% of my attention is where is Zed. And I know we don't have vision in that bush. That's why I farsight the bush. And I know he's looking for me. So I'm trying to position very, very carefully here. And it's working. I think he's getting a little frustrated that he can't find an angle on me. I'm begging for vision in that bush. I know that he's still sitting there waiting for me to walk into it. Staying out of the WR range again. He gets frustrated, he ults the Nunu instead, and then we win the fight. So this is a great example of a fight that was won purely on the positioning. Make the enemy assassin frustrated, they get hasty, they go in too early. So that's a play I'm very proud of. Now, Baron is up and Dragon is up in about 40 seconds. No matter how many times that we win fights though, how many times I kill Zed or we get, a team fight victory, it really doesn't matter because Zed can still one-shot me every fight. I still need a... And this is one of those games where I feel like the next time I die, it's probably the end of the game. They can end off of me dying, I think. Because the rest of our team just doesn't do enough. This is another fight I don't really like. Um, if we have to fight that dragon, we don't have too much vision here. Yeah, so this is exactly the kind of fights that I hate. There's, before I place this ward, there's zero vision in the river. And I see Zed's on the far side of the fight right now, but he's wrapping around the back. I know that he wants to come at me from the side. So what's gonna happen is Nunu's gonna snowball like into the middle of the enemies, into the center of the middle of the river. But the problem is, look at Zed and who is that with Zed? Uh, Sivir. I'm not really too worried about the Sivir, but the Zed, he's just waiting for me to follow our Nunu into the river and start autoing them so that he can ult me. So this I don't think is so much of a positioning mistake on my part. It's more of a failure on our team to, well, I don't want to say a failure, but we don't have vision. And well, we managed to get a ward in that brush, but we don't really have good position on this because the way that Nunu is approaching the enemy, we can get flanked if I start autoing them. So I have no choice but to play patiently and wait for the Zed to misstep and hopefully go on him. I do think Nunu should have maybe been a little bit more um, reserved or more patient before going too deep into there. I mean, I do have my W, my R, and my D, and my flash, but it's not like I can just ult the Z. He has Edge of Night. It's just gonna eat the R. I'm not sure that W and flash is enough to escape a Z ult. I would rather, I mean, it probably is to not die, but I'll be useless in the fight. I'll still kind of get chunked from it. I can W and flash, but yeah, I'll still get chunked. So I'm trying my best to bait a misplay out of the Z just like he did in the river the previous fight. So he uses his W. I feel a little bit more safe to go in. He's using his R on the Nunu. So now I feel okay to start autoing. I did panic W because he's close enough to me to R me. So that's why I W'd. I didn't react in time. I was assuming that he was going to R me, but he didn't. I mean, I was in the brush, so maybe that's why he wasn't able to. But, so if I had not W'd, if I had the, a little bit more courage, maybe I could have killed that Zed. But still, the fight is looking pretty grim. Nunu gets chunked off of that engage. Veigar's chunked. Veigar's dead. Nunu's gonna get killed by the ult. Orion's low. I don't even know where Trundle's doing. He's flanking them. He got that. He got killed too. So, to be honest, I'm not sure there's too much more I could have done there. Maybe the biggest mistake was just using the W away from the Zed. If I'd been patiently just sitting in this bush, Zed shouldn't have been able to ult me. Because I don't believe they would have vision there. Although, you can't assume that. And it's not like I'm going to flash for the Zed. The dragon's already dead. I mean, the fight's already lost. So, anyway. We lose the dragon, but it's not soul. Um, Probably going to lose Baron too, though. Yeah, that was a fast Baron. Try and stop their recalls. I get 1 kill. Now this was kind of silly of me. Apparently, Cassante can't dash over walls. I could be mistaken. But I was assuming that he could dash over the wall. But I think it's only with the ult that he can do that. So I should have just blast coned directly into the pit. I would have been able to kill him that way. But I thought that he could dash to the wall, so I was trying to get like to reverse psychology him into making some weird kind of movement. Here's Zed again. I don't really know what I was trying to achieve here. The Baron's already gone. So, kind of just get outplayed by the Zed, and then Riven shows up too. Yeah, I should have known that Riven and Maokai could be in the area. Our team wasn't backing us up, so that was definitely a mistake on my part. Thankfully, they can't end off of that. No Sivir, no Zed. And I finally finished my Zonias. So now if I ever get Zed ulted again... Oh, actually, didn't I already have Seekers in that fight? I think I had Seekers. I should have immediately Seekers instead of wasting Flash on this. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't use that. I don't always build Zonias, so it's easy to forget that you have it sometimes. But I won't make the same mistake twice, hopefully, in this game. I'm hoping if we get Riven's Baron, then that kind of cancels their Baron push. Then Maokai will be the only one left who has the Baron. I'm mainly just trying to avoid us getting like uh, 4 4 down mid, and then Riven down top. I thought she would stay and like um, try and try and fight us, but she backed off. There's no objective up, so I'm just trying to honestly just not die. I don't really need any more farm. I can go buy the elixir, the lifesteal elixir if I wanted to. Probably should have done that actually. There's nothing else to buy this game. I could sell boots, but I feel with the feats of strength boots, it's typically not worth to sell my boots as Tristana. So here's the final fight. I get engaged on, but I have Zonias. Gives my team time to follow up. So this is a great engage from Nunu because if you notice, Riven is top and Zed is about to show bot. Well, he didn't know that, so he kind of just got lucky. But this that makes us a 4v3 without Zed. So this is pretty free fight. All I have to do is press Zonias. They have no damage to finish me off. And that's the end of the game. So, so yeah, this I think was a good example of a game where it seems pretty hopeless. There's a Fed assassin who can one-shot you if they play um, perfectly. But I guess sometimes they don't always play perfectly. And that's about it. Okay, I'm still flaming my mid laner, looks like. But we came out with a win in the end. I guess the moments I want to re-emphasize are just maybe that one bad death early on to the Zed. Forget where it was exactly. Probably around here. Yeah, where I thought I had the Riven, started chasing her, didn't know where Zed was, got killed. So this moment was something to learn from. I did a pretty good job in general this game of respecting the Zed and intuitively knowing that he was going to roam, but could have done better here. And then I want to look at, I think my next death, which was quite a ways later actually. died here. Yeah, this play, after Baron's already gone, there's no real reason to fight. This is a 2v3, assuming that Maokai and Riven are coming. Don't press Zonya as a waste flash, trying to finish the kill on the Zed. Pretty terrible. Really no reason to take that fight at all. I also want to go back to the triple kill I had somewhere. I think it was here. Yeah. So I mispositioned this fight very badly. Should have just stayed with my team. But then in the cleanup, I should have recognized Zed had no W, no flash, no ult. Shouldn't have wasted the R on him because that caused me to have to burn my flash to finish the kill. So, other than that though, I mean, this was a pretty clean game. Those are pretty mechanical errors. And then the one off in the river death to Zed, I think is not that big deal in the grand scheme of things because I was pretty aware of him throughout the whole game. And I was pretty proud of how I managed to stave him off. So that's about it. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.